Book club.
It's the
Book club, niggas.
Yeah, turn it into a spicy thing. That's impossible.
Live
All right.
on the Biggie Network.
Yeah. It looks like TM joined the membership. We're almost at 40. Keep it up, guys. Keep it
Oh, my
up. We're like
goodness.
10 away. Yeah, dude, killing it.
Okay, I'm getting you working on my channel and getting me some like people supporting my channel.
Just bring me over. I'll hype it up for you. You'll get yourself. No, I'm kidding. It ain't that hard. Dude, Superman 80. I don't know what to tell y'all, dude, but all right, here's the cover. Don't mind the little girl on the bottom. I could get rid of her, but I'd have to download the app. But I just
Well,
don't
if you
like
want to
that
make me big, I've got the cover right here.
Yeah, let's show.
Oh wow! So I
show
do not
Matt.
have this book in my collection.
I sense FOMO.
No.
Hey,
No.
if you want to make me big, I've got that covered as
Show
well.
how it's done, D. Boom! They're both cool.
Reprint.
Oh, reprint my ass.
I'm just joking.
All right. What year does this come out, D? 94, 93? It says right there.
93. 93.
93, yeah.
It's triangle number 22. From the
I'd like to drum up a crowd because this should be a fun one. This was one of the shortest reads for me. I don't know why. Did
It
y'all
was
have
very
a short?
quick. Yeah, I was
Very
like
quick.
shocked how quick it was.
I felt like I read it within 10 minutes, maybe 5. Like
Of
I
all the
was.
books that we
certainly
read,
for
this
10
was the
for me.
quickest. This was easily the quickest book we read.
I felt that way too. I just didn't want to say it. I mean, I don't know why it was so fast. It felt like a full book, but
There
all
wasn't
right.
that much dialogue for the most part. It wasn't like we had Professor X and like
No.
talking about crazy stuff.
It was very short and deliberate. So the cover, we'll get to the rating later. Let's jump to the inside art. I'm not mad at it. This is not the greatest looking face for Lex, but sorry, my camera won't focus, guys. There we go.
I think it's funny that they gave him hair again.
Well,
No,
there's a
that's-
clone of Lex. He's
Yeah.
He cloned himself and called him his son and made him Australian.
Yeah, and he put his consciousness inside of him. So it is Lex Luthor, but it's a very weird Lex Luthor. It's a weird time for Lex.
It's a clone, and apparently, well, he was a redhead. So
Yeah, I know. I know in the original, yeah.
I think I like this Lex the most. Sorry, guys, but he's my favorite Lex. I don't know why. So here comes a big spaceship, mysterious. All right, shout out to chat a little bit. Christina Payne, GT Key. This is Matt's contest entry if you want to sneak in there, guys.
Here it
Collecto
is.
6, Stepo. Congrats on your cap 1, dude. MVS, brother. Yeah, I mean, the backgrounds ain't great, dude. I love that Eradicator Superman right there. Fucking great box art right there to me.
That
Yeah.
panel right there is my favorite.
Dude,
Eradicator. That is so good.
Jurgens is kicking ass in this issue, bro. Look at this fucking cyborg. Tremendous.
Yeah. I really like his attention to detail on the cyborg.
He is
Yeah, it looks
whooping
like
I know
ass.
part of
Lost
that's
the
anchor
character,
too,
not
but the penciler puts it in. So
I know people kind of like laugh at like 90s Superman or like 90s Superman. Dude. Oh, did y'all get waxed? I'm sorry, bro. I didn't even watch it or know till you just told me, man.
Oh, that's
Dude,
sad.
so good, bro. So fucking good. Look at this fucking panel, D. Oh
Oh, yeah.
my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm gushing. I'm not telling y'all anything about the story, by the way. So that's the ship drops the bombs and they're ripping through the city. I had to read this, even though I could have done it by heart probably, but I'm glad I did because I thought that Eradicator died just by guessing. Oh, Stepo saying he can't hear you. We could hear him, but maybe turn your mic up if you can, Alan.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Oh,
Stepo
okay.
saying he can't hear
I
you.
can hear Alan fine.
Yeah, that's what I say too, but
I'll
I'd have
lean
to
into
watch.
it. I'll be like, "Hello,
Yeah.
guys."
So who are these guys? D, I read it. I didn't quite understand.
Those are
Um,
friends
That's the
of
Green
Green
Lantern.
That's
Yeah.
the lantern right there.
Okay, the
No,
woman in the
I thought
the
it was his
woman in
friend.
the purple. The woman
Yeah.
in the purple is Carol Ferris, Green Lantern's girlfriend, and Star
Yeah.
Sapphire,
And that's his buddy, right? And
and that's his buddy. He's
Yeah.
in the wheelchair. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, Green Lantern I thought was in the wheelchair there.
No, that's not Green Lantern.
No,
It says in the
Lantern-
book that Green Lantern is off doing something else.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
MIA during this issue. He's nowhere to be around. He's
It
kind of
just
going
said,
through.
check out some other book. I didn't read the other books. So.
Yeah, it was a DC Trinity event going on at the same time, and Green Lantern was involved in that. Hal Jordan, because it's Hal Jordan.
I thought the way I misinterpreted, just to quickly say, so I thought because they said, oh, Green Lantern wasn't, available, that the guy in the wheelchair was Green Lantern and he got injured in that previous one and thus in the wheelchair. So I was like making a way more cool story.
Yeah,
It's a cool story.
Maybe.
I don't know.
in the previous issues with the Cyborg Superman, he was doing some work with the American government, according to D, because I talked to him about it.
the White House.
The
Yeah,
White
yeah.
House.
White House.
That's why he's connected to them and blah blah blah. What up, Shockwave Nostalgia? That's my boy Shockwave. So
So
they're
they're
like
in Coast City, right? Those,
they're in
Yes.
Coast City.
so they're toast, is what we're learning here.
Yeah, that you could call it Toast City.
Toast City.
Coast
That's
City.
a good one.
Coast City.
Well,
Too soon.
Eradicator was close by, and Cyborg got message, and he zipped right over there. He knew it was fucking coming, though. So they meet up. This is where they meet up, and Cyborg and Eradicator have a little discussion, and he's like, "What are you doing here at the same time as the ship I see? Like what the fuck?" And then the guy's like, "Get out of my way, you pesky Terminator 2 knockoff." And fuck, I just messed it up. There we go. So, damn it. That was the best part. Hold on.
Hey, Biggie, do you want to talk and I'll show the panels for the book?
Yeah, you could do that.
You want to make me big and you talk?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it that way. All right. Yes. So there he is. They meet up. You can go to the next panel. He's flipping his gun. He turned his back on him. Kabooyah, bitch.
And
He's
the bullets
like,
go right through him, by the way.
He's like, you should never turn your back on me, you dummy. And he blasts
That's a
him.
great panel, by the way. Great panel.
Oh yeah, Jurgens is killing it. And there's the guy running the spaceship, like talking to I'm not sure if they solidified Cyborg or not, but go ahead and skip it.
Yeah, that's
No,
Mongol.
that's not Cyborg. That's Mongol.
That's Mongol, yeah.
Right. I was saving it, but that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah, they blew it up. They blew up the building. People were freaking out. He survived the blast. Go ahead and flip it. It's showing them all get blown, and then oh man, that big gun arm to the fucking melon. That is some good. And you see all the gadgets flipping and flopping, and he gets kabooyah blasted in the face. And then there it is, nuke. And you can see in the middle, like they got their shields up, and they're just, I don't know why they didn't fly away a little bit. Why they want to be in the middle of the fucking blast, but
Yeah, why, if you're going to set, detonation kind of things, why do you have your ship just sort of sitting in the middle of it?
Right,
That makes sense to me.
If the ship can take it, the ship can take it.
Yes, the ship can take. But also, did you see that? One of my favorite parts of these panels is the sign that says "You are now leaving Coast City" on
Yes.
the first one.
Yes,
That was
I saw
hilarious.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
there it is right there.
Yeah, right there. After it's going to get annihilated. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you kind of see Eradicator's dangling and going down. So go ahead. And now this is where you see Eradicator's like, I got to get back to the Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude, yeah.
And they give you like the vibe, like that's the real Superman at this point. You're like, oh, he's going to Fortress of Solitude to get healed. It's cool, Go ahead, D. And he's like, yeah, I can't even think straight. I got fucked so hard. And this guy's like talking to his partner, I believe, like getting ready for him to come. Go ahead, D.
So just one thing. Can you go back to that just quickly? So that scene right there reminds me of the Superman trailer.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it does, but no dog.
When I saw that, and he's in the Fortress of Solitude area, he's like kind of like all bundled up like that. I thought, wow, this is just like the Superman trailer.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Only thing is weird is like the ship's either the size of the city or it's way smaller at some points, but that's okay. So about 80% of the bombs have been blasted. They got like 20 to 30% more. Go ahead, D. They're about ready to detonate those too. He makes it to the fortress, and we are led to believe that he's going to make it. Go ahead, D. He's like talking to Washington at this point. He's like, "Oh, I don't know what happened. The spaceship, it got away.
I think
It must have
it got blown up, actually.
Yeah, it could have got blown up, or I can't see anything, just like you guys, because the White House can't see either." Go ahead, D.
There's too much ash and debris.
And it's a little bit more of that same conversation, kind of. Washington's looking. Go ahead, skip it, D. And this is where Cyborg gets into the ship, and he's coming in to meet. And you see the dope panel coming up soon. D, go ahead.
And it looks like they dropped another type of bomb as well, like what they called seeds, and they just
Which is what created the metal.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's like they were creating the city. So they were already building the city up by the time Washington even found out that anything was going on. And there he is in that dope cape. Jurgens nailed it again in the silhouette. One more panel, D, and there's the finish for you guys. He's kissing Cyborg's ass. Mongols made his presence known. Thank you, D. So for cover art, I think I gave a pretty good rundown on the issue. Biggie. I mean, I can't say it's the greatest fucking cover, but I'm gonna give it like a 3.75. Inside art though, I'm going 4.5. That was very good to me. I mean, you can nitpick it if you want, but there's some panels on the inside that could be covers all through that motherfucker. Writing, 4.5, dude. That was damn near perfect comic to me. And overall, 4.5. Those are my scores. So let's have D here, since we weren't sure if he was going to even. He was a little late, guys, but he's here now. It's all good.
I was late, but the chat did say 9 a.m. Eastern, so
I did. I fucked up.
Yeah. I was ready and waiting. I was like, oh, 9 a.m. Fuck. So I started playing a video game. But anywho, I was so glad Biggie picked this issue. Me and him didn't even talk about it. Like when he picked it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. It picks up in the middle of a pretty deep story. And one of the significant things about the story is going into this issue, you don't know who the bad guy is. You learn who the bad guy, the villain is in this issue. A lot of people at this time, when I read this as it was going down, a lot of people thought Cyborg Superman may be the real Superman. There's 4 of them at this time.
Yeah. My part of why I thought the Eradicator might actually be the bad Superman was the fact that when he was first introduced, he tried to wreck the world and turn it into Krypton himself.
Yeah.
If you'll remember, it was about 3 years before.
Yeah. But no, it was really cool. And then even when they first confronted each other, Cyborg Superman and Eradicator, Cyborg is still playing his character. Like, hey, what are you doing here? How do I know you're not part of this plan? I absolutely loved that. And then this little panel right here, he just looks evil. Where you see him holding that gun up next to his head, right there, I'm like, oh, something bad's about to happen. And then you get to one of my favorite panels of this issue.
In the back. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, I mentioned it earlier, this panel here is probably my favorite image of the book. It's just such a cool shot of Eradicator Superman. Really, really fun looking image. But
I always felt like Eradicator Superman looks kind of like Plastic Man plus Superman. I don't know why.
yeah, no,
I always thought he was trying to look too cool for school with those weird glasses.
Yeah,
it was the '90s. But yeah, the whole issue is great. I love this panel right here. Oh, hold on. Where you see it, the energy blast literally going right through his head. So Biggie, I understand why you thought the dude was dead. That is a brutal shot. That's like a JFK level braining right there. Like, it's not a good thing to have happen to you. Here's what they're talking about with the seeds that turned it into Coast City into Engine City, is what they wound up calling it. And yeah, man, all right, I'll just get to my scores. Biggie covered it pretty good. I love that panel right there. And they've recreated this a few different times, which is really cool. The cover, I'm going to go a 3.5. I really like the cover a lot. Interior art, I'm going to agree with Biggie, man. That's a 4.5 for me. The story, I agree with Biggie, 4.5. Overall, I got to go 4.25.
Interesting. 4.5. 4.25. Perfect. Okay. So let's go with Alan. Save Matt for last because he's a Superman guy. Make a Superman sandwich.
Okay, so I thought the book was okay. I'm not as in love with it as you guys are. There were certain things that I felt like it was a bit confusing. As I said, I made that mistake about thinking that character was the Green Lantern. So I think coming into, when you're ever going to a story and you're in the middle of like some long series, it's always got a little bit of confusion there. And I would have liked to have known why Lex Luthor had red hair and stuff. Thanks you guys for telling me that whole origin of
That
him.
storyline, honestly, that Lex Luthor storyline, by the time this book came out, was already almost a year and a half.
Oh, dude, that
Yeah.
redhead Lex is like primarily the
There
early
for like
90s.
2.5
He's a
years.
Supergirl, all
I
types
was
of shit.
reading Malibu Comics and Batman at this time, and
Malibu.
Warren Publishing. So, I wasn't reading the Death of Superman series that much, so I just didn't get into it. It's interesting. So for me, I really didn't like the cover. I thought it was really kind of weak, actually. I'll give it a 2 or 2.5. If you guys, I'll give it a 2. I'll give it a 2.
All right.
Sorry, it wasn't working for me. I agree that the interior art though was better. For example, I really don't remember the cover even. That's like, I know it's a guy, he's like some weird thing going on, but it's not like a really like, oh, I really love that cover and it's an iconic cover. Doesn't have that for me, so that's why it's a 2. A 2.5 would be sort of average cover. This is a little bit below that. The interior art though was better, and I actually don't like 90s art for the most part. I find it overly muscly, overly like not really doesn't really look like humans. It looks like these kind of caricatures of humans, muscles on muscles kind of thing. This had that to a certain extent, but it wasn't to the extreme that you see in like the X-Men books that we read. So I actually thought the interior art was actually quite well done. Some of the scenes, it looked like a lot of well done, almost like these could have been used for splash pages or throughout the book had that element. So I would say that like a 3.5 for the interior art. No sexy women, so that's why the score's a little bit low. Just
But
need to
there
see
was
sexy.
Carol Ferris.
Yeah. So that was it. So that was a 3.5 for me. The story writing, I think was really well done. Very quick read. That was the thing that was really interesting about this book. It flew by. It was like, oh, I actually at the end of it, I felt like, oh, they could have. I felt like this is first part of maybe a 2-part thing that within one comic, because it felt like there's so much more story that they could tell. I think that's good writing in a way because that makes you want to read more. You feel like, oh, now what's going to happen? What is this weird city that they're building? What happened to Eradicator? All these kind of questions. That's cool that they set that up. Really goes well into a series. It really does carry. It is the Empire Strikes Back of the Superman saga. It really does make you kind of want to read the next book. Very well done in that respect. So I'm going to give it a 4 in terms of the writing. Overall, I give it a 3.5. The writing does pull it up for me a bit. But I was really disappointed by the cover. The cover was really not that great. Sorry.
You still gave it a good score, dude. Like for
Yeah.
not liking '90s books and not liking the cover that much, like you still appreciated the interior and the art and the writing. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it was a good twist, like where you see, like, you kind of feel like Eradicator, not Eradicator, but Cyborg Superman is going to be a good guy. And, you're almost as a reader expecting them to team up and, fight at first, because heroes always fight at first. It's a thing that they do. But team up eventually and fight this bigger foe. No, that did not happen. It was like, oh, here, it was a twist that way, and I think that's good. And in a way, this kind of sets up the whole idea of these 4 Supermen. Who is the real Superman? And you're not, they're kind of, you're eliminate. Now we know that Cyborg Superman is not the real Superman. So I think that's cool.
Very nice. Good job, Alan. I was very interested to see what Alan thought because he's the only one that hadn't read it yet, so that was fun.
All right. I'm trying to see which angle's better. Okay. Superman 80. I had personally figured out that obviously Steel and most likely Superboy were not Superman. So we were down to these 2.
Mhm.
And this cover, I think, is brilliant because it almost just throws you off the wrong way that Cyborg Superman is the good guy and that he's knocking out the bad guy on the cover, in a sense, especially since you see the nuclear cloud on the cover.
Okay.
Now, what I like, so
good misdirection.
I found that the cover actually was connected to the story, but not the story. So I was actually, I wasn't surprised because in my mind, I always thought Cyborg Superman was the bad guy. Okay. Especially in later when you find out that he's Hank Henshaw, and as someone who's read Superman throughout, knowing that Hank Henshaw was bad out before, makes it, oh yeah, of course. And as I said, I tended to think the Eradicator as an evil creature because he had to be convinced by Superman 3 years before to not destroy the Earth and turn it into Krypton. So I had that as sort of a little bit of baggage in that sense. But this book is great. I mean, forget for a minute, yes, it's the middle part of the saga, but it sets up things so well. You find out why they're building Engine City in the next issue in the series. Okay, like of the whole the whole overall stuff. And knowing also what I do now about the destruction that this book, the events of this book lead in another direction, making Hal Jordan go insane and becoming Parallax. because his entire city is gone. That's his reaction to this. Again, that's neither here nor there. But as someone who's
But
read
yeah, it makes sense.
for a
Yeah.
long time, it actually has an effect on the bigger DC universe.
I'm glad you brought that up, Matt, because that's very important historically, for continuity of DC. Good point.
Okay. The reveal at the end, as I said, was a little surprising because I knew the Eradicator could take a beating. Based on the powers he had before, I knew he could take the beating. I knew he wasn't dead per se, and because he is an energy being to begin with, probably impossible to kill. But besides the point, the story, like everything for this led to it being a good, if not great, book. The cover, I would agree, is the only downfall, and even for me, it's still a 3.5. And the only reason it's a downfall, I would have liked this cover better if the writing was smaller and we got more of the picture.
Okay.
Like this booming could have been slightly smaller, and these things could have been smaller, moved up just a little bit, just to have a little more.
I don't know,
Picture on the
something about
cover.
the way the cover is laid out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. I don't really like it. I don't know.
The interiors, this is Dan Jurgens at his best. He's got backgrounds. He's got like the detail. It's the detail in, and you know what? This when it's Engine City in future issues, his details get even better. Like Jurgens shows what the kind of artist he is in these issues as well. The interior art is definitely worth a 4.5.
Wow.
Okay. And I'm not the big Jurgens fanboy like D or, but he did a hell of a job on this one, and I'm going to point it out. As for the writing, same thing. These guys, it wasn't just the fact that although Dan Jurgens gets credited for the writing of this book, it really is a team effort because all the writers for the 4 books were together and they wrote out an outline together. I've read a book on Superman that tells me how they did this whole thing. So everybody this is the way the story's going to go. You have this room parameters to go. That's why even overall, the worst are still good. The worst of the books of the series are still good. This one is one of the best, though, and it deserves a 4.5 as well.
Okay.
Thus making the book overall a 4 because the cover does bring it down a little bit.
Okay.
Well,
But
shit,
it is great. It's a great representation of what Superman was in the early 90s.
dude, we did that shit, bro. That was a good comeback. We've been off for 2 weeks. We're back. That was a fun book. There were some great scores. Now we're going to talk about what we think. Oh, Dee's got some art from around that time, by the way.
Well, this is actually Jurgens' art, but it's in 2010. But this girl here went back to the day that Coast City got blown up, and like she time traveled because it's a Booster Gold story, and all of a sudden Cyborg Superman's there, and he's like, "Hey, baby, what's your name?" But yeah, it's this is literally the morning of the Coast City massacre.
Well,
According
if we had that panel in there, D, Alan would have probably gave the inside art a little
Yeah,
bit.
then I would have given it like much higher score. So they
But yeah,
needed that
dude.
panel to save the book.
Dude, I got this for like $300, dude. And it's
Yeah,
original art,
crazy.
Dan Jurgens.
Very nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
the events of this book even got mentioned in the Legion of Superheroes book when they talked about the legend of how Coast City was destroyed in another book. Like, so
Yeah.
I mean, for continuity, the events of this book ended up being huge.
So how big, like I know Metropolis and all those kind of key cities. How big is Coast City in terms of the DC?
It
Well,
was the
the-
home
what-
city.
It was 7 million people that got killed.
Yeah, I got that. They said that in the.
It's the
story.
home
That's
city.
a big
the
ass
time.
city.
Yeah. At the
It's the
time, it
home
was
city of Green Lantern.
Lantern's home. It was Green
Yeah.
Lantern's home. So And I think that there were a couple other characters there as well, but I off the top of my head I can't remember.
But it wasn't like it's not the metropolis level,
but
obviously.
it was a significant city because it's like the size of Los Angeles, right, on that coast.
Yeah. Well, it's a made up city, right?
Yes, I know.
But
What? I thought we couldn't find it on a map because it was destroyed.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good explanation of why it's not on the map. But I was curious about that, like if it was only within that short term during the 90s that this city was even mentioned, or if it had like some longer.
It was a Ferris Air moved there. I'd like to say just before Crisis, and Green Lantern was there as well. It might have been
So,
just
like,
a
at
post-crisis
least a
thing.
decade that's
No, well, I mean, it's probably a post-crisis thing, but literally, he was in Coast City for what I can remember, at least from the 1980s.
well,
Hey, to give you the scope of it, in 2023, Los Angeles was home to 3.8 million people.
yeah.
So this city had 7 million. It's a very large city according to their universe.
Yeah, and it's now a crater.
It didn't feel like a small city or a place that wasn't significant at the time while you're reading it. You're like, oh, it's for Green
Just
Lantern's
wait
from.
until-
This is like
wait
the West
until
Coast
they're late.
metropolis.
Wait
So
till the
the-
late 90s when San Diego gets submerged and becomes Sub Diego.
Shit, I would guess that it's probably been around since Hal Jordan's popped up, wouldn't you think? Like, I'm guessing. But it don't matter. 63.75 Matt or mathematician or 63.5.
63?
Sorry.
63.5.
There you go.
Wow. So that's
Okay,
That's a good score. That's a good score.
63.5 puts it at number 4.
Damn, bro, that's a bitch to beat those three, dude. Son of a bitch.
So what are the top three? What do we got for the top three?
Hunter Prey was number 1 at 66.25. FF52 at 66. And Captain America 1 came in at 65.75.
All right. Cap 1 should be in the top, in my opinion, of the books that we read. So
I just mean those are some good damn books. We're pretty good at this, dude. Like, I'd say Cap 1 is probably better than this, but
It
Yeah.
gets a 79.4%.
okay, that's a solid score. B plus kind of level.
One thing I want to bring up before that I don't know if I heard was Cyborg was glad to a fit in his plan to have that guy there, because in the story it explains, they're what you know what they're going to think of your past. You killed Coast City because you're here,
Yeah,
the ship's here, you know, like he
I
didn't
think
only
he set up him as a scapegoat.
yep.
And for the several issues after that, he would communicate with the White House talking about the Eradicator Superman killing people, and he's still there. We got to watch out. And he was masterful during this time.
Okay.
And I
So there's-
disagree with Drew Manchu on a couple of points. The new Teen Titans were in New York City, in DC. Supergirl at various times lived in San Francisco, New York, and Chicago. She was living in Chicago when they killed her off. So there are real world cities in the DC
Oh
universe.
yeah, there's a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, there was something I was going to mention. I was actually, one thing that they sort of were hinting, they were doing some bit of foreshadowing, right? Where they said, when the ship came in, they kept on saying, we got to be on time. And they were you could tell that the people that were running the ship had a one step higher leader that was leading over them, right? And in a way, they kept on setting that up as a question. Who is this leader that's ordered this whole thing? And it was a good a good diversion in a way, because I was thinking Darkseid was going to make an appearance in this somehow. And
In the animated movie, where they told the story, they did eventually work it into being Darkseid behind everything.
oh, okay. Because yeah, it seemed like they were, there was a bigger baddie that was the.
Well,
the
I think
mastermind.
if I remember correctly, Mongol was almost not very used very often, if at all, right after post crisis. They were turning him pre crisis into this new big bad, but he seemed to have gone away a bit because Superman couldn't go out in space as much in the new post crisis. So they tended to have mostly earthly threats for a while, or when it was a big threat like Millennium, for example, the Millennium event, everybody on Earth was involved, like all the superheroes. This was
Hey,
probably
I like Drew's comment. The lower level heroes got real cities. The heavy hitters would get made up original name cities. Like
oh, that's possible, but I wouldn't call Supergirl a C tier. I'd call her,
she wasn't.
She's not A tier though.
no, I would call her B tier at the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to give letter grades to that, like A,
Yeah.
B, C, D, but like if you're the upper echelon, I get what he's saying. Like the big dogs would get their own city. The supporting
like
cast,
Gotham and Metropolis being the two big ones.
yeah,
Batman,
Coast
Superman.
City. Where did Flash come from?
Came from Central
Cent-
City,
Central City.
Central City, yeah.
and then
Um,
Midway City was another big one. That was Hawkman.
Yep, and then
See-
Fawcett City for
Green
Shazam.
Arrow, Green
Is
Arrow
it-
ended up in Seattle after Crisis. Him and the Black Canary. So they were in the real city of Seattle. So you can say, and I consider Green Arrow at the to be like the bottom of the A list, because at the time he was a hell of a seller with Mike Grell working on the books.
Yeah, but I think that's only because Mike Grell's awesome art. I mean, Green Arrow doesn't sell at all now. Nobody, I wouldn't see it. I
True,
wouldn't
man.
see
People are
Green
saying
Arrow.
Green Arrow is the hottest shit out right now, reading wise. That's what I've been hearing. but-
It's getting a lot of great reviews.
yeah.
I like
really?
True Man Chew's comment here. Power Girl is double D tier.
Well, it's come the time of the show where we decide on what book is next, and D is up.
JLA Avengers #1.
It's going down, bitches. I didn't know
wow.
about this. I didn't know. Who did that, D? It's not Perez, it's the other guy.
It's Perez.
Oh, it is Perez. Fuck. Who did the other one? Did they do both?
No, he
Versus
Perez
was
worked.
who?
It's such a
I
Perez
forget.
thing to do is have like a whole bunch of characters on a cover.
Yeah, he gets more and more detailed into this. Like issue #3 of this series is bananas. Like but yeah, this is Perez at his finest.
Yeah, out
I've
of
read this before. I'm not sure.
out of the two series, JLA and Versus JLA is regarded as the better one.
Yeah, no, this is a fun read that harkens back to a lot of their classic stories, and it's really fun. So I enjoy this one.
When did that one come out?
This is 2003.
It didn't hurt that Perez was the regular penciler on both books at one point. So
Yeah,
All right,
Yeah, 'cause
so
they
go ahead.
traded off. So DC did 2 of the books and Marvel did 2 of the books, but they kept the same writing team for both. So like Marvel got 2 of the writing credits, DC got 2 of the publishing credits. Like so like 2 of the issues are JLA Avengers and 2 of the issues are Avengers JLA.
Mhm.
But yeah, but if someone doesn't pick book 2 of 4 for the series after me, I will make 2 my next one. I'm gonna finish the story eventually.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's fine. So that's a great pick, D. I'm going to let y'all know that the next club, I think what we might do is me and D was kind of doing it yesterday, was we might pick like a top 100 cover list and go down the line and then give our scores. I would like to have like a group where we could put it in top, like have 5 different groups, like best, good, great, average, and poor. that would be cool. But if not, and then what we'll do is if we don't like it, we'll give a cover we do like, and we'll keep track of that. And I'm hoping we might be able to, if I can make it work, like make our own list. I know it's fucking impossible, but I think that there isn't a good top 100 cover list from what I've seen. So that's what we're going to try to do. And there might be a battle in there somewhere, but we'll see. Hopefully you guys are into it. I think it's interesting to see what people think is good cover art.
So actually, what we could do, I don't know, like if we each bring like 20 books and we battle them out in terms of which one we sort of rank better, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't
think that enough of us have like top 100 covers to battle, but we could try to bring some.
I would put that personally. I would put that Superman cover with the black cover that has the tank in the background.
One would be in there.
I think it's 14 or whatever. As
is that a top 100?
No, I'm just joking. I just think it's a great cover. I'm just organizing my Archies. So
what did you say, Matt? I'm sorry.
Because like I do not own a Superman 14, and I think that's the one that's all black with the tank sort of outlined.
Oh, I gotta see this Superman 14.
I think it's 14. I could be wrong.
Is it a Burnley
but
cover?
There's a black cover where there's an outline of a tank. It's just blacker so that you can see it in the background, but there's a big Superman standing like the Superman pose.
And isn't there like a little thingy in the as well, like a round thingy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like a circle?
Oh, this one?
Ovally.
Well, this is 14, but it is black. It don't have a fucking tank, but that is good.
No, that's the American.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of then, the Shield. Yes, that is the one.
Okay, the Shield, good.
Okay, I was thinking a different cover. Okay.
Okay, there is another one with a tank. I'm just getting my numbers confused. 14, for example, that's a great cover. I don't have it.
There's a bunch of Superman ones I would like to have.
I think that's one of the most patriotic covers that.
Well, the last one Biggie just showed was like a reprint or an homage.
That's the one I was thinking, by the way, with the weird thingy.
No shit. This is the first origin or something. This is one of his best origins. Not the first, but it's an origin of Superman. I really like that. I think it's 63.
What is inside the little circly thing?
The one there's two
Krypton.
circly things, just words and a chunk of kryptonite, I guess. Right.
Okay.
I think we might use Alan's plan. I think we can get a couple rounds out. We'll just bring some just in case we can get to that part, or we want to show some
books. We don't even have to have the physical book. We can say a
okay
random book. Like if somebody thinks Action 1 is the best book ever, then cover wise,
I'm gonna give you my 5 Golden Age books because I know you're gonna be a lot more Golden Age heavy than us, but I think the 5 I like the most are like Fantastic 3, Suspense 3, Chilling 19, Black Cat 50, and Suspense Stories 22. Are those top hundreds to you, or any of them not good?
Well, I like Chamber of Chills 19 a lot. I actually like All American 61.
I'd put that in there too. Yes.
The Solomon Grundy cover, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool one.
But I would say that there's 3 or 4. I like the one where Harlequin is introduced is a very nice cover.
Yeah.
I know you have that book too, but
Interesting.
I actually like Flash Quarterly, All Flash Quarterly #1.
I'm a big fan. I mean, I know it's probably not 100 top, but I'm a big fan of that Batman 8 Infinity cover.
Oh yeah, me too.
I think that is what it's Jerry Robertson, I believe, and it's the smile on Robin. It just goes down through the thing. I always thought that was cool.
My favorite Go ahead, Alan.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say there's a lot of classic covers. Like it depends if you want horror or good girl or there's so many genres. Whereas nowadays it's like superhero stuff, right? So it's a little bit different. It's very genre based for the Golden Age.
My favorite Batman cover is Batman 11 with all the playing cards. That's my favorite.
Oh,
believe it or not, I like the one where he is shooting the machine gun. I think that's
Okay.
I think it's just such a crazy cool cover. So yeah.
You got a good one too, where he's popping out of the Jack in the Box. Is that the one you got?
No, I
Or the
have
genie? I'm sorry,
the
the
genie
genie.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah, I
genie.
like the
That's
genie.
a really cool cover. Usually Joker covers are pretty awesome for
Yeah.
Batman. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just iconic. Actually, I like Plastic Man #1 as a cover, like the big skull with like him kind of coming out.
Oh, yeah, Plastic Man
Um,
has some good ones.
And like I like Punch. There's a Punch cover that I really like. I forgot what issue number it
Number
is.
5.
Is it number 5 where it's the artist and he's getting like stabbed by the little?
Oh no,
cartoon?
number 5's the giant skull.
No, number 5 is not the giant skull.
Oh,
I
it's
think,
not. I
I
thought
think
that's what it
it's.
was.
I think it's 11 or 10 or 12 or something like that. Yeah, there's a bunch that are really cool that I can think of. I like my classic Popeye number 30 too. That's one of my. I love that cover.
Well,
Another
anybody?
cool cover from Action is you talk about, like a pop-up cover, is Action Comics 57 with the prankster's face
Oh, it's
on the
fucking
Jack
12.
in the
You're
Box.
right.
Yeah,
No, I was wrong. You're right. 12.
yeah, 12.
Okay. Well, Matt has a giveaway coming. We dropped a link in the chat a couple times.
I can drop it again here.
When are you doing the giveaway, Matt?
Next Tuesday,
Next Tuesday. Okay, I'll try
January
to make myself
7th.
available.
That is the video that if you are a subscriber to the channel, make a comment and I'll be taking people off that.
Alan's back in business. He's back from his snowbird trip. So, Alan, when's your next live show?
Friday. So just before your show, I'll do my show. Actually, it's funny. I think you just put out a video where you showed your top books that you picked up for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually my cover challenge for Friday.
Oh, cool.
I recorded it like a few weeks ago. So I was like, oh my goodness, it's like everyone's already doing it. It's like,
Well, it wasn't my idea. It was Unruly Simeon put out a tag, and I just followed the lead. So Unruly Simeon did it a couple weeks ago, or about a week.
I'm like behind. I was gonna actually post it 2 weeks ago, but then something happened with another video that got posted.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So check out his cover challenge and his Friday show. I'll show this. I didn't show it last week or last episode I was on. It's my newest book I got right before the end of the year. And
that's a great book.
Yeah, I love it, dude. It's one of my favorite Doom covers, and it's a really nice looking one. It's spine split pretty bad, but all of it's there. It's very colorful, very bright, pretty white too for as old as it is. So
well, that's nice.
All right, we're gonna roll on out of here. We had a pretty good chat. I think we're getting better at this. We had about 10, 12 people most of the chat. So catch y'all later, dude. We'll be back with Avengers versus JLA.